What's up, everybody? It's Justice Hansen, and tomorrow is my birthday. So I thought I'd give you guys this story on me and kind of my testimony and what my journey's been like. Okay, high school, pretty much had everything you could ask for. Was ranked on the top 5 quarterbacks in the country, had offers from all the Power 5 schools, got invited into the Under Armour All-American game. So high school was great. Halfway through my senior year of football, I ended up getting injured. I sprained my MCL and had a pretty bad high ankle sprain that took me out the whole rest of my senior season and into my freshman year. I decided to go to the University of Oklahoma, graduated early, got there, wasn't able to do anything for a few weeks because I was injured. So to be honest, I kind of showed up out of shape and not necessarily at my peak, and I kind of think that hurt me. Another issue was coming in, not being ready to go. I got put at the bottom of the depth chart with a lot of guys who were still really young. What I realized was my opportunity to play there wasn't going to be until a little farther down the line, and I wasn't really about sitting on the bench, and I hadn't played since the very beginning of my senior year. So I decided I loved football more than I loved the University of Oklahoma, so I decided to leave. Deciding to leave the University of Oklahoma was all my idea, and doing so, I felt like I let a lot of people down, just because I felt like I'd always done a lot of great things in the past, and now I felt like I wasn't living up to what I could become. So I kind of started pushing people away. For example, me and my parents went through a rough patch during this time because I wanted to show them, I could still do everything I wanted to do, and I didn't need any help, and I wasn't making the wrong decision. So naturally, I started to try to isolate myself, and I think that hurt me and my parents' relationship. So my goal was to make it back and do it all by myself. I didn't want any help. I wanted this all to simply be me. So what I decided to do was go to junior college. I hadn't played in about 2 years by the time I decided to go to junior college, and if I would have went to another Division I, I would have had to sit out another year, and I felt like I needed to play. So going to the junior college, the conference it's in wouldn't allow for the school to pay for my whole scholarship and everything, so I had to pay a few $1,000s that they couldn't cover. And I wasn't about to ask for help, and I didn't want my parents involved. So what I ended up doing was I met this guy one time. I only met him one time, and he said he could get me to make a few $1,000s if I came to him and worked at a fireworks stand, right? So I loaded up with him and his brother, and for a week we went to the small town in Kansas and set up a firework tent in the mall parking lot all by ourselves. And that whole week I slept in the firework tent on the ground for 7 days, and I forgot to bring my wallet for some reason. It's not like I had money in the first place, but anyways, I didn't have any money. So what I did was I would just sneak in the back of this old hotel I saw that was about a mile and a half away. I would sneak in there in the mornings, wipe down in the bathroom, and then sneak in and eat some of their continental breakfast. Then I bring my backpack with me and get some biscuits or whatever, stick them in there. So we didn't end up making the kind of money that they said we were gonna make, and I didn't end up getting enough to cover everything, but it was enough for me to actually get there. So finally back at a new school, finally had an opportunity to play and prove myself again. Going through fall camp, second day or third day of fall camp, I hurt my leg, hurt my quad, and they couldn't diagnose what it was. So I missed the first 2 games, played a little bit in the third game, and then came back home to a doctor that I knew here in Edmond, Oklahoma, and found out that I tore my quad, and I completely tore it. The muscles connected to a tendon is connected to the bone, and I tore it straight off the bone. Talked with him, got an MRI and everything, and he said they could reattach it, and it would be a 6 to 7 month recovery time. And I didn't have another year to waste. I didn't have another season to waste. So I said, just forget about it. I'll deal with it. So played the rest of the season with a torn quad, which definitely limited me. I didn't ever practice fully and never conditioned, so definitely wasn't my best year. And another thing, while that was going on, it was about 2 weeks into the school year, and I got a call from one of my coaches that says, hey, you don't have enough money to pay for the housing you're living in, to live in the dorms. And so at this point, I was like, okay, how long do I have till I need to be moved out? So that night, I gathered up all my stuff, put it in my truck, called one of my coaches back and said, all right, I'm out. And he said, okay, where are you gonna live? And I said, can I just, live this semester in my truck? I can just lay the seat back and sleep there. He's like, no, you actually have to have a residence. So I ended up finding a few teammates. I think there's 3 or 4 of them that lived in a house, and they had no more extra bedrooms. I had no place to live, so they were gonna let me live in the basement, but the ceiling was literally like this tall, and they didn't really want me down there. So one of them had a room, wasn't even that big, but he's like, all right, you can put a mattress in the corner of my room. So he actually got me a mattress from his parents. I want to say it was like a twin size or a single, whatever the smaller one is, feet hanging off, everything. And I put it in the corner of his room, went to Walmart, got some picnic table covers, and taped them up on the ceiling to try to give myself some type of privacy. So that's kind of how I lived there for that semester. And like I said, football-wise, it wasn't great. We did manage to win, I want to say 8 or 9 games, which was a positive thing. Like I said, I don't think I was playing very good. And lo and behold, I didn't get any of the offers I thought I was going to get. I really had none up until a week in January. I got an offer from Akron, and then I got an offer from Arkansas State, which I'm very thankful for. So boom, I pulled the trigger on Arkansas State, decided to go there. Not like it was that difficult of a decision, I only had 2 choices. And I decided to go there. So look, back in Division I football, and now's my chance, right? Going into my sophomore year, I'm gonna be able to be the starter for 3 years and win the job in the spring during spring ball, get a call from coach in May that says, hey, we're bringing in a grad transfer from Pitt. I'm like, okay. Perfect, more adversity. And we battled it out through the summer and the fall, and they ended up naming him the starter that fall. So I sit on the bench really, and finally got my chance in the 5th game of the season. I want to say we went on to win all the rest of the games except one, ended up becoming conference champs and playing our bowl game and winning that as well. So finally something kind of went my way. Junior year, picked up a lot of momentum. As a team, we didn't have as much success as we wanted to, but individually, I had a pretty good year as far as stats and stuff like that go. And I was also named our conference's Offensive Player of the Year. So now going into my senior year, I finally have a team. I finally got a spot to play, and I'm healthy. So definitely looking forward to this next year, and it should be a big year. I say all that to say this. Was my journey easy? No. Would I change it? No. Is it over? No. Along the way, I learned more than I ever thought I could. I matured as a man. I grew closer to God, and I did a lot of things that I didn't know I could do. And it led me to the message that I want to spread now, and that message is walk on water. If you're familiar with the Bible, you probably heard the story that there were disciples in the boat, and there were waves and wind and everything was crashing up against the boat. And Jesus walked out on the water to the disciples, and he called one of them out, Peter, to come walk on the water to him. Peter faced his fears and started walking on the water to Jesus. And as long as he was focused on Jesus, he was walking on the water. But there was a time while he was walking, he started to shift his attention to the waves, to the wind, and things he was scared of. And that's when he started to sink. So my message is walk on water. That's my story, because walking on water is how I believe I got through my circumstances. I went from high school, everybody looking at me, to OU, nobody really caring, to sleeping in the parking lot of a mall and sneaking in hotels to eat breakfast, to going to Butler thinking I got my chance, to tearing my quad, not playing very well, getting pretty much kicked out of the dorms because I couldn't afford it, living in a small mattress in somebody else's room, and then finally getting my chance at Arkansas State and getting that taken away again, and then finally getting the job, and then finally starting to build some success for myself. And I believe the only way that those things happened was walking on water, was having one focus, was being close to God and growing with my relationship with Him and not letting things around me affect me. And also football-wise, understanding I want to play Division I football. I want to make it to the NFL. I want to be successful and not listening to doubters, not letting my circumstances dictate where I'm at or where I can go. And so I just say to you guys, have your focus, understand what you believe in, and have tunnel vision. Don't let anything stop you. Walk on water.